Hey guys, it's your favorite Dynamite here, and today thunder is clashing in this battle. Thunder, lightning, and storms going into this battle. Today we have King Ghidorah, or just Ghidorah, versus Thor at their highest forms. So yeah, this is basically a sort of composite 616 Thor versus a composite inverse Ghidorah, meaning we won't be going to Marvel for this one. This should be very interesting. So let's get into it. This should be actually pretty fun. So when it comes to these two, there's a lot of things we have to look at. Now I could say strength, speed, and durability, but really it's about the hexes. And here's why it comes to that, right? Let's dive into their strengths, right? So I could easily say that since Godzilla overpowered classic days Thor, which is Thor at his strongest, then he should be able to beat all other versions of Thor, right? Right? But that's not fair because this is inverse. Now, inverse, these guys have both showed universal attack potency, even from characters that they scale to. For example, Thor scales to the likes of characters like Hulk and Hercules. Hulk being able to destroy universes in combat and even destroy Nightmare's realm, which is a realm of imagination, and being in Hercules being able to hold up the heavens, okay, which is an astral thing. So with that being said here, these guys easily, and I mean easily, show universal to universal to like multiversal attack potency very easily. It's not really hard to say, and it's not really hard to even gauge here. Okay, so with Ghidorah, he was able to fight against Godzilla in all of his iterations. Even one-shot him more times than Godzilla has been able to fight him. Even fighting against monsters that would scale to Godzilla, like Destroyer and Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla himself is able to manipulate 4D constructs and actually perform attacks that are considered 4D and higher dimensional. Okay? So Space Godzilla being below the likes of Monster X, which is basically Ghidorah, it basically gives you a just on how powerful Ghidorah is. And Monster X actually bodied both Space Godzilla and Godzilla in an energy clash before. So that's really not hard to say. But let's go into something more. Ghidorah was actually able to bring Godzilla to hell. Yeah, that actually happened before. Ghidorah actually brought Godzilla to hell. Okay? Like he actually brought him there. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. Like he actually just brings him there just to mess with him, and was actually in control of the realm itself. So this means Ghidorah is actually able to control an astral plane. He's able to control the underworld itself. Like he literally took over the underworld. You just don't see that. And then you have, their higher forms, where they ascend that category and leap into the multiversal to higher. Ghidorah is beyond our dimension, even beyond our understanding. Okay, that's how he was described. He was basically considered to be God, coming from a void itself here, a void, an infinite realm of nothing. Now you might say, "Oh, that doesn't sound doesn't sound like much here," but again, it's an infinite void. Remember the Tournament of Power, where basically the world of void basically had nothing in it, and then you see Jiren just kind of like shake it. He shook an infinite void. Like really? It's not even up for debate whether or not that's even a feat here. But here's the thing, right? Ghidorah was actually going around destroying universes with a single head. So these single heads, right, were actually able to destroy universes and destroy the monsters or anybody that's protecting them in there, including their gods, their beings or whatnot or whatever. But let's actually use normal mythology, right? So in the Godzilla Rage Across Time, Ghidorah or Monster X was able to body all of Earth's monsters. And I mean every last one of them. He was chucking meteors at them. He even managed to beat the likes of Ghidorah. Okay? Which is no small feat, mind you, considering the sheer fact that Ghidorah himself is actually self-regenerative. And he actually beat him. Matter of fact, he one-shot every monster on Earth, including Anguirus with his bare hands, and then proceeded to run the ones with Godzilla and winded up defeating him. This Godzilla was going through time beating everyone in history. Even beings like Yamato no Orochi and Zeus. Okay? This guy killed the gods of Olympus like it was nothing. Hermes, Ares, who is the literal embodiment of war. And then there's Zeus, right? Now, this is pretty simple. Zeus is above Kronos, who beat Uranos. And Uranos was able to, well, pretty much create the entire universe. So, in all honesty, that's excuse me. In all honesty, that's that's not even a bad way to gauge it. In all honesty, and then you have Planet Eater, who's above that level to the point where he's above our dimension. Now, let's not say our, let's say the Godzilla dimension, right? The Godzilla dimension is actually 4D because Godzilla actually comes from a higher plane of existence. Thanks to Godzilla Ultima, he comes from a higher plane of existence. This means that Ghidorah's and the rest of these monsters will also come from a higher plane of existence, meaning that these monsters are basically well beyond the typical understanding, meaning that these monsters have true forms that exist outside of our reach, probably outside of the multiverse itself, which again is quite interesting, you know? So with that being said here, these monsters are absolutely ridiculous, broken even. And Monster X has been able to fight against Anguirus, Gorosaurus, Kumonga, Varan, Rodan, Monda, Baragon, King Caesar, Zilla, all these monsters at the same time. Okay? Been able to body them effortlessly, put them to shame, put them in their place even. Oh, excuse me, my throat. Delicious. But anyway, these monsters exist outside of the multiverse, right? Like I said before. And yet these monsters are just casually bodying, casually getting clapped up by an alien. Like, he literally comes to Earth to run the fades every time. And wins! He's actually winning until some type of plot convenience just comes their way. You guys have to think about that. Godzilla normally gets the business by Ghidorah on the regular. And it's just pretty common like that. So with Godzilla and Ghidorah going at it like that, and then Ghidorah winding up one-shotting the same dude who not only beat Zeus, but beat God himself, who was able to create the entire universe, if not the entire multiverse. Let's be real here. It cements how powerful Ghidorah is. Even Space Godzilla was able to affect a fourth dimension with his telekinesis. His TK. His mind. Like, really? It's not even up for debate here whether or not this is actually even a fight to begin with. If you actually think about it, it just don't look fair, honestly. So when it comes to these two, why does it vary? Why does it why do these two have such different results? And who do I favor at the end of it, right? You guys are probably wondering who I favor at the end of this, at the end of the day, right? Who do I favor? Is it Thor or is it Ghidorah? Well, I'm going to simplify this for you, and I'll tell you why. It's going to be Ghidorah by the end of this fight. And I'll explain to you why. When it comes to the hacks they have just about everything. Thor has his lightning. Ghidorah has his lightning. Thor has the God Blast. Ghidorah has his gravity beams. Okay? He also has his anti-gravity beams. He has his space-time. Both have space-time manipulation. Both have matter manipulation. Ghidorah and Thor have gravity manipulation, albeit Ghidorah has 2 stages of gravity manipulation. He's got his basic, and then he has his super gravity, which allows him to consume anything by the gravity around it. He can even bend space and time around his opponents to the point where he's able to redirect their attacks onto them. So while this is a very interesting fight, and also Ghidorah has pretty much something that I don't think Thor really has. And that's kind of the electromagnetic nature, or electric-like nature. So if Thor hits him with a lightning bolt, and plus add the power cosmic to it, Ghidorah gets a massive amp and a massive power boost. This means that anything Thor does from here, it might amp him. This means Thor's lightning, his go-to move, is actually a hindrance. Now you can say, oh, well, can't Thor just take it back? Well, yeah, but so can Ghidorah. And with the power cosmic in his veins as well, that's pretty bad for an energy vampiric dragon, basically. So in all honesty, when it really comes down to it, and when I really have to say it, I gotta favor Ghidorah here. Strength-wise, they're about the same. Durability, about the same. But when it comes to hexes, when it comes to who can take the energy away and amp themselves up more, I would have to say it's Ghidorah. Because Ghidorah doesn't really have any attacks, maybe besides his lightning, that could amp Thor. But again, Thor's lightning would probably give him a much more potent amp here. But anyway, at the end of the day, I gotta favor Ghidorah just due to the sheer fact that he can just take all of Thor's energy. But hey, that's where I'm gonna leave it here, you guys.